Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Yes, she's a 360 all the way around. Yeah, that's how she rolls. Can't believe I found her smart and funny.
All right, here we go. OverDrive off and running. TSN 1050 on the TSN app, your home smart speaker, up on TSN 4, up on YouTube Live. Brian Hayes, the O-Dog, Jeff O'Neill, Jamie Noodles McLennan.
What's going on?
What's going on?
I have a difficult announcement to make. I didn't want to do it, but life is life. Mother's Day is the same day as the marathon, Hazy, and I have engagements. I have to pull. Dude, I'm not being a fraud. I have to pull the pin.
Okay, so we're not running the marathon because I have been training and preparing for the marathon.
Yeah,
You're telling me
hard work.
You're pulling the shoot on me.
I'm not pulling the shoot, but if there's one in September or early on, like in the fall, we'll do it. But Mother's Day, you know the deal.
I understand that. I understand that. I'm glad you're taking a bullet here for the team because
you are.
I have been in the doghouse a little bit as I've been training. Right, I'm up to about 8K. Pushing towards 9, and I did say Mother's Day may get, postponed, and I haven't been in a good place.
So let me get this straight. You've been pushing up towards 8 or 9K?
Well, I mean, I've been doing it internally. I didn't want to publicize.
Internally?
I didn't need
internally, the
mentally?
man says.
Mentally, you've been doing it?
No, I mean, like keeping it private, I guess is the more proper way of putting it. Like, I had some paparazzi chasing me around the other day, and I said, get out of here. I'll pay you to get the tape back so you don't post it publicly because I don't want people seeing me train. Wow. But it's all for naught. But that's fine, and I appreciate it because Mother's Day, I need to prioritize where things are supposed to be prioritized.
That's fair.
And
I love
speaking
the way
of
you're
mothers,
looking at this. I love it.
Speaking of mothers, I had a lady come up to me today. I don't know if you guys get this. Because obviously dudes that watch us a lot and they're like, hey, you're the OverDrive guy. Do you ever get like moms or wives like that just come up and say, are you the guy that I'm stuck watching? I get a lot of hate combos.
I don't think it's hate.
But they're like,
combos.
you and your two buddies are always on the TV. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. There's like a hate group that just, I think they're either stuck with us on the tube or they just, I've heard somebody at a gas station, she heard my voice. And she goes, "Oh my God, you're the guy.
Yeah.
You're that guy."
I know.
Have you ever had that happen? Like they can't,
they
can't stand us. There's this like a hate group where they're just like, "Oh, you're that guy at 4 p.m."
They're subjected to us daily.
That's what it is.
Not what they prefer to be doing.
Now, I've had some kind moments where people are like, I was stuck watching you guys for 2 years, and now I'm a fan type of thing.
Right.
Like
I've never heard that one. Honestly, I've never heard that one.
I've had that several times. I got stopped in the airport about a month ago, and I'm dressed like a homeless guy, like I got a hat on and sweat, and
with your Jerry Bettman shoes.
Yes, my Gary Bettman Nike. Shoes, Saucony shoes.
Have we posted that pic yet when you're talking
Those
to
were
Travis?
Sweatpants. Those were
dude, I know.
First of all, Claire Hanna snapped the picture.
I think it was Hayes. I don't want to throw you under the bus, Hayes. I think Hayes texted me and showed me the pic and said, I think Noodles is wearing Jerry Bettman shoes.
I thought Claire Hanna should have had, honestly, a meeting with HR after that infraction. Like
I can't remember who it was. Me and Matt Cullen maybe talking. No, it was
Travis Green. You were talking about Green and Gordon
Travis
Miller.
Green
No, it was
and Rusty.
Yes.
Rusty Nielsen.
Yeah, Dusty Nielsen. It was his first game. We were in Calgary. It's morning skate.
We got to get the pic to Joe.
I'm wearing a pair of sweatpants.
The Jerry Bettman wheels, they're sicko.
Okay, first of all, you text me and said, are those Gary Bettman wheels? And I said, I'm wearing a pair of sweatpants at a morning skate, dressed like a bum. And that's what it was. And you said, because you said, what did you say? Running shoes with dress pants? And I said, no, those are sweatpants that I was wearing. And I
told
casual.
you I would prefer you to wear, the little woven Geppetto loafers you have?
Yes.
I like that look better than what I saw. Joe, you got to find this.
Claire, go back to Claire Hanna. Go to her Twitter account or Instagram.
Yeah.
And she posted the picture. It would have been, 2 or 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, I was in Calgary. I can actually give you the day because I was Ottawa Senators at Calgary Flames. That was March 5th because I was flying back for the the
trade deadline.
Trade deadline.
That's
so
right.
It was the morning of March 5th, and I was very casual, tired, and I look like a skeleton. It's bad lighting, too. Like, it's a tough picture of me. I'm no gem to look at even with light on.
Dude.
This was tough.
It's the most gutless move. And again, it's not intentional. And I have been caught in the crosshairs many times. Like back in the day, like Griff periods of my life where I'd be in a background.
Dude,
there'd be a buffet.
Look at this guy.
Look at that pic of Noodles.
Look at Jerry. He's got like you're hunched over. You got a hat on and the Jerry Bettman shoes.
But can you see the shoes? I can't see. Oh yeah, the shoes are there. So those are sweatpants with my shoes. Those are Saucony running shoes. I love those. They're very, very.
Dude, they're not Saucony. I think they're called Sauconys. Saucony.
Okay, Saucony. I apologize.
Rico
this is the
Saucony.
same. Well, this is the argument you have with Hedge. What's the name of it? Those shoes?
I call them stinky honkas.
Honkas, but they're Hoka. It's actually Hoka.
So it's
stinky
Saucony or whatever?
Forever.
Yeah. But
so
the pictures in the background, like there it is. Yeah, those are wild shoes, man.
Come and get the Stanley Cup.
I'm like, it's 10 o'clock in the morning
I know.
on a Thursday morning.
Yeah.
I'm just doing my job, getting a little research in with Travis Green and Dusty Nielsen.
Oh, yeah.
And Claire
By the way,
is in the
Dusty
background.
is dynamite. We don't know. Me and Hayes don't know him that
We've
well.
met him a few times, though.
Yeah,
He's a great guy.
But the guy is an unbelievable broadcaster.
Phenomenal.
Like
He's
he had his
phenomenal
first game,
play-by-play.
Jamie. He was dynamite.
He's
Yeah,
great, and
he's
he's a
great.
good guy to work with. He's a beauty, though. You don't realize he's a monster.
Yes.
Like, we're talking 6'5", 250, 240, whatever it is. Like, for us in that Calgary booth, the camera woman goes to me, she goes, "You guys got to sit because I can't fit you guys in properly." Like, I look like his kid. Like, it was Danny DeVito and Arnold
He's so
Schwarzenegger.
tall. He's so tall.
big. And so we had to sit on the edge of the ledge just to fit in the frame. But
Well, he was prepared. You could see he was horse-eyeing Claire. He's like, Claire's taking a pic, so I'm going to make sure I'm like, I think he did a suck-in, too, if you look back. He did a little bit of a suck-in. But the picture in the background, like early Facebook days, you'd wake up in the morning, you'd be like, oh, I got all these notifications. And you're like, you've been tagged 5 times. You're like, this is going to be a disaster.
That's a MySpace picture. That's what it is. That is Tom from MySpace. Is that what that guy's name was?
Yes.
You wouldn't even know that.
I remember
Hazy,
MySpace.
when you had that black dress shirt on, that pic, like when you were in that phase, did you ever click on a Facebook pic where you're like in the background just grinding on some pizza or something? Like, there must be some horror pics.
There are. There's
Dude,
terrible
because
pics.
I know when I was 3 bills, there's some pics that, dude, you're like on a back couch and your neck is like this. You look at it, and you look like Jabba the Hutt back there. It's just a slob.
It's so
It is-
unnecessary
oh,
and gutless.
my
And
God.
listen, I don't know where the future's going with AI, but I hope someone has thought of that.
Yeah.
One of these big tech companies, you need like some sort of filter where it's like, no, you're not allowed to post that because that poor bastard in the background is not prepared for
Dude,
it.
it's
And
like
it
a
looks
house
like a
filter.
disaster.
When I was on vacation, I had to ask my oldest daughter out because my screensaver on my phone is my wedding picture with me and my wife, and it was right before I went into monster mode, and I told her, you've got to use your tricks on whatever picture app and slim me. I can't because I look at it every day, and she fixed it for me. She AI'd my wedding
There
picture
you go.
because my
Really?
face was disgusting.
I
Like
love
it's
it.
like cartooned now or what? Like what?
No, she just trimmed out, like she got rid of my neck. Like she carved out my neck.
Shoulders and a head sitting there.
Yeah,
So
like
good. Just
like
take my
she
neck
just-
out.
yeah, basically removed my neck and just made my
There-
face normal looking.
Your most famous picture that made its way around the internet. Hayes, do you know which one we're going to talk
Dude,
about?
I have
this?
3 or 4. I mean, there's.
Well, no, though. There's the one with a hat on in a pool. In Florida.
his one, the one in the
Yes.
pool, is crazy.
O's internet picture. That one will stand up in my mind forever
because you're wearing like a shirt in the pool.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
but
was sunburnt. I had to go to the gift shop and buy one of those long sleeve pool sweaters.
But for-
which is the ultimate fat ass move because You are basically telling everyone at the pool you're not putting eyes on what's underneath this. Like, you have no right to put eyes on what's underneath this.
But for
shirt.
months, you were like, that wasn't me. You were like, that's not me. You just actually denied it for months.
That jogs my memory of a pic I'm in Mexico. Where I am massive.
And you have a T-shirt on the pool.
I have a sombrero and a shirt on, and ruining the picture. Like, it's my wife, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law. Like,
Dude,
he's cut. And there's me. They're like, who is this guy?
Dude, you got to find
Mexico?
it. Blur everyone else out for privacy reasons. I need the sombrero and the badass white T-shirt.
You will not believe this picture.
Dude, my most horrific pick is, I don't know if Carlo still has it, but Carlo jammed me up huge. I was peak monster, okay? And I was doing OverDrive with Carlo, and I had my feet up on the desk, and I'm not kidding you, my T-shirt rode up to my nipples, and my barrel was hanging out the side of my waist and down my quads, and he snapped a pic from the other side of the desk, and he texted to me, and he goes, bro, what is up? And that pic scarred me for life, man.
Yeah, that would. But that didn't go public, right? No. He didn't post it, at least.
Dude, if he jammed me up like that, we would have a problem.
Oh, my God, that's so funny. All right, I'll go back into the archives. We'll find some more. But
just isolate yourself in the sombrero.
Yeah, no, but you're working, though. You're working, right? And again, it was and you were covering the hottest team in the league, the Ottawa Senators. The hottest team. What a win for them last night.
You talked about the underpants, Cam, man. It is shining bright around the East.
Steve Yzerman, Todd McClellan, Dylan Larkin, who returned and scored last night. They must be freaking in Detroit, Noodles.
Well, I mean, Boston.
Yes.
Montreal. Okay, so I did this morning on the plane. There's 7 teams that are 4 points apart, but there's 5 spots available because of the Metro. So, the Islanders are on the outside looking in, but they're 2 points back of Columbus. Like, you're looking at it, and there's basically 7 teams in it right there, including Montreal, that's at the top at 88 in that 3rd spot. But only 5 teams are going to get it. The 2 wildcard spots, and then the spots respectively in the 3rd spot in the Atlantic,
right.
That's up for grabs, technically still.
Yes.
And then 2 spots in the Metro are up for grabs. So it is on here the last 10 games.
You know what? This season it's become the year of 2 things. The small market team. Yeah. Teams like Buffalo and obviously Columbus and Ottawa, the Islanders. I know it's in New York, but they're clearly the 3rd team. Well, maybe Jersey is, but Long Island is not exactly, Manhattan. You're looking at Anaheim, atop their division. Yep. Utah's in. Nashville is still a relatively mid to smaller market, and they're on a heater right now. And the year of the Cinderella, which includes a lot of the teams I just mentioned, Buffalo and Columbus and Nashville and now Ottawa, like these teams that were nowhere close, some of them a month ago. Buffalo's been on a heater for like 3 months, so they're a little bit different. But between Ottawa, Columbus, and Nashville won again last night. They pumped San Jose.
Yeah, dude, are they in teams, right now?
Yes, they're in.
Nashville's in.
Nashville's
in that last spot.
They're 3 points into the playoffs. Like,
so I'll just give props to one thing, and I thought it was a bunch of crap, and a guy that I respect a lot, Trotzy, when he started going on about it takes a year for a legacy player to get his feet underneath him, I thought that was just running away from the fact that his experiment didn't work.
It was a tough signings. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I thought he was just trying to lean on something, and he was just grasping for straws, and I was like, Trotzy, man, you guys are so bad. You basically lose every night. But maybe he was onto something. Well, like, it takes a little bit, for whatever reason, it takes a little bit in the transition, and now Stammer's ripping home goals. Nashville's in a playoff spot. Trotzy, maybe you were right with that comment, or to some degree.
Here's something crazy, and it kind of ties back to my game last night. There was, there's so many points throughout the season where you go, okay, that team, they're rolling, they're in, or hey, that's curtains for them. That team's done. Gord Miller and I did a game in Nashville where the Ottawa Senators were up 3-0 early in the 3rd period. They lost that game 4-3 in regulation. Steven Stamkos scored 3 that night. And I remember thinking to myself, if the Senators don't make the playoffs, not only did they miss 1 point, they missed 2 points that night. That set Nashville on a heater.
Mm-hmm.
And again, now Ottawa's had their ups and downs. They've fought back. And it's a great story. Ottawa, you've got 2 rookies that step into the lineup. This Jakubchuk can play, though.
That was cool last night. That play he made on his assist was unbelievable.
Which is, honest to God, guys, I'm glad you brought it up because I've never in my life, you can speak to it because you're a forward. Hayes, you're a defenseman. In your first game in Barrie, would you have ever done this? Kid put it between his legs in the National Hockey League in a playoff race on the power play, last guy back.
That was
Jamie. That's the new age of hockey. Like, that's a skill set where you know how most guys, they work on defensemen our whole lives.
Yeah.
And Hayes, you did it playing junior hockey. Defense drills. The coach dumps it up the board. You got to glove it down and then take a shot on net.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that, you're doing that kind of stuff that kid just did.
Yeah. There's no drill for that. Like, no one runs a drill like, hey, put it through your legs, last man back. Crazy.
It was, you know what? And I've talked to people in Calgary because he played for the Hitmen. I've known about this kid for a long time. I can't say I've laid eyes on him for years and years, but I have seen him in the exhibition games for the Senators. It was just a matter of time, but comparables, he's got this Evan Bouchard to him, this very casual kind of laissez-faire, but he's an unbelievably offensively gifted defenseman.
Yes.
And because he's got a bomb for a shot.
I would try to pound that element out of him right now and say, you can be next level if you take the laissez-faire, however you just described it, and you're a little bit more hard-nosed, a little bit more dependable, and look at the guy in your team who shoots left, number 85. There's no casual approach. Intensity and forget all that stuff, and your career arc will go skyrocketing.
Unless the crazy thing, is these guys are not – it's weird. The way the young players are now – they're just wired differently. And I've been lucky enough to see in the last couple of weeks. I watched Matthew Schaefer. This guy is he's 18 and playing like
just
he's 32
breathing
out
easy,
there.
man.
Jamie, I totally appreciate the fact that you just said they're wired differently. I will say this, though. It doesn't mean it's right. And it doesn't mean it's the best for the individual or the team to just say, you know what, I'm wired differently. I think that's a bunch of crap the most time.
One thing
guys use it as a crutch. They come back to the bench. They're like, it's just the way I'm wired, coach. Sorry about that. I'd go nuts.
But it's just, I think the game has changed to the point where my point about this, is I don't know how you were the night before your first NHL game, but I didn't sleep. I had, anxiety, all of that type of stuff. You've done it. This kid showed up yesterday.
Rips one home between the legs pass.
And it was like, I'm sure there was anxiety, but it just didn't. The moment was not too big for him. And again, a former teammate's son was the other guy, Jorian Donovan. Mm-hmm. And he is more going to be the more traditional defenseman, and he's got some bite to his game. He can shoot the puck, and he's a good skater. And he's 21, so he's probably projected to grow a little bit more at the minor league level. Jakubchuk is a player. You could
top
tell.
10 pick. And
just a matter of time.
Big talent.
When he was going to play.
Well, I think what has changed, though, and what doesn't get brought up enough in these conversations is, has the coach changed the way he's wired? Because that's a play. It's got a little Lou Brown, nice catch, Hayes, don't ever do it again.
If that goes for a breakaway the other way, you got a totally different outcome.
But does Travis Green say, hey, if that's what you got, I'll take 8 out of 10. I can chew on the 2 that are going to go the other way because it's going to happen. If you're talk to Knobloch, right? Bouchard's going to make a pass where you're like, are you serious, dude? What are you thinking? But then he's going to make the next 5 or 6 that no one else can do.
Bouchard's got 82 points right now. He put up 3 assists last night.
So the wiring of coaches has changed. Yeah. I mean, it's been pretty clear cut with a lot of these teams in the league. They're letting the high wire act kind of play.
It is. That's my point about that. I get it. The way that we're wired, and at some point it comes to bite you. And maybe that's in the playoffs where it's just too casual and things are just too hardened. But I think that's today's athlete. It's like, hey, I believe I belong. I'm going to show I belong, and I'm going to use the skill set that got me there and not play safe. I'm going to play what I do. And I just thought it was really interesting because watching that Schaefer kid play, he doesn't play D. He plays rover. Like
yes, he does.
It's unbelievable what he does. And seeing these kids come up and really be impact players right away. It's pretty impressive, and I was impressed watching them play last night.
Well, and it, is a segue into the Maple Leaf conversation, which to their credit, yes. I thought they played great last night.
Yeah,
like they really showed up to play hard. Yeah. And, is it frustrating that we haven't seen that for 2 months? Obviously, that's frustrating. Yeah. But nonetheless, they showed up, they controlled the game, they played with pace. I thought they were on their toes, defensively sound. But, the bigger conversation, well. Yes, he did, absolutely. The goalie played really well. Stolarz was good last night. But the bigger conversation about the draft pick is, by all accounts, there's 3 or 4 high-end defensemen in this draft that are sitting there waiting, and it's like if you can pluck one of those kids, he's not coming to play for you in 3 or 4 years. He might be on your team next season. Like, he might be able to show up at 18 and have an impact on your team, or at least 2 or 3 years down the road.
That Verhoff might be able to do that.
He might.
Not 100%, but he might be
able
to
he
do
might.
that.
But there's a couple. Like, there's 3 or 4 defensemen you look at.
Kid.
Yes, exactly. Carl's is up there, the Reed kid.
Yeah.
Like Craig just came out with his updated list, and he's still got McKenna at the top. And I would guess if the Leafs won the lottery, they would take him, I think. But if they were second or third, which they could do, winning the lottery, they'd take one of these high-end defensemen, and that would really put them in a very good position. But last night, the Leafs played really well. Yeah. And Boston's sitting there probably thinking, what the hell are we doing? Like, how do you Montreal won last night, but the Islanders lost, and Pittsburgh got pumped.
But you're sitting there watching it, Brian, and that's exactly like – on any given night, you can feel good about your team, and then you watch the scoreboard and go, we pissed a point away here. We lost 2 points where we needed that, because it's the margins of error now for these last 10, 11, 12 games. They're razor thin, and it could be, the difference could be a team that has no pressure that goes, we're going to play spoiler tonight. We're going to play really well. And the Leafs, I get it. I was watching. Matthew Nyes looked like Matthew Nyes.
That was a beautiful goal he scored last night.
Yeah, it was. But it showed his skating, showed his power. All of a sudden Stolarz making some big saves. Like, to me, there was things that you, at the start of the year, you clung to and go, does this guy have another level? This goaltender.
Weird season for him, Jamie, though. Especially the idea that he was going to be taking off Auston Matthews' line early on in the year. He started there, and you're like, this is this guy's job for the next 5 years minimum anyway. And all of a sudden, Max Domi and other guys are playing with Matthews, because Matthews with Nyes just didn't work out early on.
Well, he hit career highs last night. He hasn't been in the league long, but he's got 59 points. And he's been hurt. For a guy that's been injured and hasn't, his skating has not been at 100%.
I know. I was surprised, Brian, about the season total, or the point total period.
Yeah.
I was not aware that his point totals reached that level, because I thought it was trending towards almost like a down year because of just the inconsistencies, and you're like, where's that power forward? It seems like we've been asking that a lot, but he's clearly putting up some numbers.
It's taken him some time to settle back in. Keep in mind, and I know it's an awful excuse, but a lot of he got 29 last year. You can go back, I think, Mitch Marner probably had an effect on some of those. Same thing with Auston Matthews, and they had to change the way that they played. Obviously, you got Michelli playing there, Domi playing there, all of that type of stuff. But you don't reinvent yourself; you just adjust and you move on. And Johnny put this in my head a couple of years ago, because he said, if you look at Nyes, every level, he wasn't this 40 or 50 goal scorer. He was more just kind of, he can score some goals, but he can be physical, he can skate. And to me, I don't know what his ceiling is. Is it a point a game or less than a point a game? I always thought that maybe he'd be a 60 to 70 point guy.
That's still a really good player on the wing with size that can play with some bite, and he's still a young guy. So, it was a good night for the Leafs. It wasn't a positive one in terms of the pursuit of a top 5 pick. But now they get the Rangers tonight, and as bad as Toronto is, New York's even worse. The Rangers are an absolute disaster. Bruce Boudreau on that and more around the league coming up. Cole Caulfield chasing down McKinnon. He had another one last night. He played great last night. The Habs really bounced back after getting beat up in the first period by Carolina. So more on that coming up with Bruce. We've got Jerry coming up at 5:30, and TSN revealed their face of the franchise list for the Blue Jays. Jays are officially back in town, and they start up on Friday. You got Yankees-Giants tonight out in San Francisco, opening night tonight in Major League Baseball. So we'll get into this with Steve. He was a part of it. I was a part of it. Keegan was a part of it. Who's at the top of the face of the franchise? Where could Vladdy end up on this list 5, 10, 15 years from now? And the rosters are set. We know who's coming through town. We know who the 26 guys are come opening night. How does Steve Phillips feel about the Jays as they start their season in just over 48 hours? So Steve's coming up, Bruce coming up, Jerry coming up. Overdrive continues, TSN 1050 and on TSN 4.
Now, back to Overdrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
All right, Overdrive continues, powered by FanDuel, bringing you more ways to play your game your way. Opening night, Major League Baseball, Yankees-Giants tonight. Steve Phillips coming up in a moment, and TSN revealed their face of the franchise for the Blue Jays.
You guys all had to pick one, or like who you thought?
It was 1 through 10, so everyone had 10 votes, and Joe Carter was my number one, and he ended up number one on this list. I could go on and on as to why I think that makes sense. I don't think it's overly complicated. You know, I'm open to discussion on some other guys, but for me, it's Joe Carter. You know, he's been a part of the franchise for over 30 years.
How much love did Dave Steve get?
Steve got a lot, and so the list went. I should point out, Roberto Alomar was not eligible for the vote because he's ineligible courtesy of Major League Baseball, so he just wasn't included. For those of you wondering, where's Alomar? That's why he's not included in this. Carter was 1, Halladay 2, Bautista 3, Vladdy Jr. 4, Dave Steve at 5. So I don't know. It's a generational thing, right? You're talking 50 years of history. There's the list right there. Yeah. Delgado at 6, Tony Fernandez 7, George Bell 8, Cito 9, Vernon Wells 10.
Yeah, I'm glad Jose Bautista got that amount of love. Like I thought people might kind of, the way he left, it might be a little bit dicey, but I'm glad he got that support to be up in that position.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. Like, I think if you look at from the year 2000 onward, so half of the history of the team, for the first 10 years, it was Halladay. For the next 10 years, it was Bautista. And now the following 5 years, it's been Vladdy Jr. And that's your 2, 3, 4. And I think that makes a lot of sense. And I had Vladdy at 2 on my list because he's been within the organization for a decade. And I put an emphasis on the fact that he got to a World Series.
Yeah, I think Cito's low, to be honest with you.
Like, you'd have him higher?
I would. I mean, this guy was the skip for 2 World Championships, 2 World Series wins, and he's what, at 9?
He's at number 9.
I disagree with you guys on that one.
I hear you. Well, it was a collective, right? There were a bunch of people that voted.
Dude, you could spin it any way you want it. That's wrong.
I can understand that. I think I had Cito somewhere around there, 7, 8, 9. I did not have Vernon Wells on my list. I had Josh Donaldson. I think I was the only guy that voted for him, which I found shocking because for me, Donaldson is the Dougie Gilmore equivalent for the Jays.
Damn right, man. I love that guy.
Yeah.
MVP.
Like heart and soul guy.
Heart and soul guy. They never get where they get without that trade going down. He wins the MVP, finished second to Trout, I believe, in the MVP in 16. Yes, it was short, but it was as sweet as it can get. So I had Donaldson on my list, but there's so many great players. So many great players, and you're talking 50 years of history. A lot of people pointing out online, maybe Buck Martinez could have been in there somewhere in the top 10. Like, Buck's been a part of this organization for over 40 years.
Yeah.
Like I could make a lot of sense of that as well. But there it is, the top 10 face of the franchise, courtesy of TSN. You can find the whole video up on YouTube Live and up on YouTube on TSN's YouTube channel. Let's bring in our TSN Baseball Insider, who's a big part of the face of the franchise. There's Steve Phillips. Steve, I can't recall if you had Joe Carter at 1 or not. Can you remind me? Did you have him at number 1? And okay, so you're okay with that vote.
I had Joe Carter at 1. Yeah, I had Dave Steve up there at 2 or 3 as well with Halladay. And I had Cito Gaston up much further because I think when people think about the Blue Jays teams back in the day, Cito Gaston was sort of the face of that and that dignified man. And I had Pat Gillick on my list in face of the franchise. Again, maybe the GM and me sort of leaning that direction, but I thought Pat Gillick for the longest time. You think about the Blue Jays, you thought about that leadership of him at the helm putting those teams together.
Do you think Vladdy, if you did this in 10 years, Steve, would be a slam dunk to take over the number one spot? Does there have to be a World Series for him to do that, or what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think he probably needs a World Series to do it. I mean, Joe Carter had the World Series and the moment, right? And so I think the moment's important. When you start thinking about face of the franchise and that moment where it's indelible in our minds, that we look back and it's that celebration, running around the bases, arms up in the air, jumping up and down. Vladdy's going to need that moment in the World Series, not just a World Series. Otherwise, he'll be, a top 3 for sure, and maybe top 2. But I think that to supplant Carter, even though Vladdy's going to have been there longer and such, I think that he's going to need the moment in the World Series to be that guy.
So you think, how much weight did the moment have as opposed to just the regular seasons and just being a great player? Did that moment, that World Series winning home run, is that so significant that just vaulted Joe Carter as a slam dunk to be the number one?
It did for me because, I think that regular seasons don't leave the same kind of impact on us. We appreciate them. But, we look at postseason, we look at big moments, we look at celebrations, we look at what brought us the most joy that causes us to remember it the most. And we appreciate the longevity, we appreciate performance over time. But I think that the big games and performing in those big games, those leave the indelible marks for me when I look at it.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the purpose of the exercise, is to close your eyes and who do you see? What image do you see? What face do you see?
Yeah.
And I just see Joe Carter either jumping at first base in Atlanta or jumping around the bases at the Dome in '93. I mean, I can give you 2 images where I'd have him at the top of this list. But, Vladdy, I had Vladdy number 2 on my list because I think he surpassed Bautista by doing what he did, getting them to a World Series. Halladay never even pitched in the playoffs. Dave Stieb was there in '92, but obviously was not a significant piece at that point. But with Vladdy, I'm curious, Steve, expectations, how they carry over. Because during the regular season last year, he was good, wasn't great, wasn't chasing an MVP, wasn't putting up, staggering numbers. And then the playoffs hit, and he flipped a switch unlike anything I can recall seeing. I mean, it was – guy had a 2,000-plus OPS and was mashing. Where is it reasonable to come to the middle? Is it closer to expectations of the regular season, playoffs? How have you adjusted what you expect out of Vladdy this year?
Yeah, so I think I had Vladdy at 7 on my list because it's like when the teacher used to give me a B in effort. I'm like, nobody tried harder than me. She's like, well, I want you to keep trying to be better. I don't want you to settle. I'm like, well, I can't try harder. I think that I want Vladdy to continue what we saw in the playoffs. I think he unleashed the beast. He unleashed the beast in the playoffs last year. And now it's time, and I believe we're going to see that powerhouse. That swing he took to hit the home run in the spring training game the other day was a guy going up there looking to hit a home run in a spring training game. It was just, he was hunting the bottom of the baseball, lift and separate and driving it out of the park. I think we're going to see that Vladdy more moving forward. And I think that October last year took his confidence level to a whole nother place.
So, Steve, is there somebody that you thought long and hard about that didn't make that list that you could probably have at 11?
Yeah, I don't think I had Donaldson on my list. And I love Josh Donaldson. I remember doing an interview with him when, he's such a spiritual guy and he was such a warrior. He was the guy everybody in the other team hated, though. Nobody liked him on the other teams. They didn't like his actions, his mannerisms, you name it. But when he was your teammate, you appreciated that sort of warrior mentality that he had. But it was just short-lived. And I think that you start looking at Carlos Delgado. Carlos Delgado should be in the Hall of Fame. He came close on that Veterans Committee last year, but 100% he should be in the Hall of Fame. I think Bautista, in the Donaldson era, Batista had the bat flip moment, which was, memorable. And in many ways, it started to make the bat flip more in vogue in baseball. Like it was somewhat, culture changing in a way. Some guys did it, but but all of a sudden it was like, of course he did. And he got knocked out for it. Like that's the other thing. Like he took a punch. He didn't take it all that well, but he took a punch for it. And so I went Batista over Donaldson for that era.
Steve, the last couple years heading into the season, I think all of us were critical of what happened in the offseason. We weren't optimistic about the upcoming season. And sure as you know what, they go to the World Series last year. So how do you kind of form your opinions about what's gone in the offseason and what should be expected from this team the Jays are going to field on Friday?
Yeah, so I just wrote about this today. It'll be posted tomorrow on .ca. But I think the Jays were the best team in the American League last year, tied with the Yankees for the best overall record, and they got better. I mean, they didn't rest on their laurels. Adding Dylan Cease, adding Cody Ponce, who I think is really an intriguing pitcher. Like, I'm really intrigued to see what he can do. That split is just filthy that he throws. And so, you have those two. And I think Okamoto is going to be a legitimate guy. I think he can play defensively, and I think he's going to hit. I think he'll reach base more than Bo Bichette. Now, Bichette will have more hits, but I think Okamoto will walk more, and he'll have more power and be more of a run producer than maybe a table setter. And so I tell you, people around the Jays, they think at the end of the year, Okamoto will have a higher WAR in 2026 than what Bichette will have playing third base in New York. Now, I think Bichette should be playing second base, but I do think Okamoto is going to be a great replacement there. And you've got Varsho on the walk year of his deal, hungry to go out there and get things. He's carried over the adjustment he made last year, hunting power in the spring. He's been fantastic. And so, I think they're a better team. I think Rogers in the bullpen, Jimmy Garcia back into the mix right now. The experience that everybody gained last year. When I was in camp, I saw men that I was talking to, where in the past I felt like they were young men or maybe older boys. But I saw guys who grew up and had a level of confidence about them now and an air about them, not arrogance, but just a level of confidence like they know they're badasses right now.
What is your level of concern with Shane Bieber? Going back to him with the contract, it kind of caught people by surprise a little bit, and you're wondering what's up with this. And now starting the season in the fashion that he is, like, is there some concern there that this is just going to lead into one of those things that becomes a big-time problem?
It is for me. I mean, listen, he rejected, he turned down opting out. Like, he could have opted out and he chose to stay. And I thought that's weird. For $16 million, he could get a multi-year deal. And then we hear, he's got some elbow inflammation. And that made sense because he realized if he went to free agency, he wasn't going to pass somebody's physical. And he wasn't going to get that multi-year deal. So he stayed. And the fact that it's still lingering is troubling to me. I mean, you had 3 months of an offseason to try to let it settle down. So I don't know what they're going to get from him. But I do think that, they've got enough depth built in there that they can wait for it and do the Dodgers thing. Just wait till he's ready. And when he's ready, you work him in. And somebody else may need a little bit of a break, and make sure that by the time you get to October, the best guys, the ones who can help you the most in October, are the healthiest and ready to produce.
What did you make of the extensions yesterday, Steve? It wasn't too long ago we were talking about those two guys that might be in trouble, and it didn't look so rosy. Is that just timing, kind of taking advantage of their success last year? It's good for both of them. I think they've kind of, enjoyed the moment and taken advantage of the situation, but just your thoughts on the extensions.
Yeah, I have to say, 5 years for Ross. I was like,
I couldn't believe
that. I never got
2031. 2031.
5 years. I mean, I was surprised by that, just the length, because it's not normal to get that 5-year extension. And Mark Shapiro and Ross Atkins are good friends. They've been good friends and colleagues for a long time. I know Mark was in a tough spot to think I might have to let my friend go if we don't figure things out and get it going. But they did figure it out. And they had a really good offseason as well. And so, to turn that into a 5-year, good for Ross. I mean, I think it's fantastic for him. And for John Schneider, I think he's done a heck of a job. And there were times when I thought they needed to move on from him. But he has studied the course. I would love for him to not wear his sunglasses in the dugout all the time. I just want my manager, my players to see the eyes of my manager to interact with him in some way, but he's done a nice job, and he does an excellent job with the post-game interviews too. And his relationship with the media is good. He answers it always with the right tone of some level of accountability, but also support with his players.
Yeah, he has struck a really solid chord in terms of handling the media. And, when Schneider came up, he was a hothead. Like, he was going nuts all the time. And he had to he's kind of found a bit of a rhythm. It helps when you win 94 games and you go to the World Series. Obviously, a couple of years ago, I would say he was still kind of blowing gaskets from time to time.
Yeah.
But, listen, the Jays, their roster's set. We know the 26-man active roster for opening day. It's been released. And by the time they get on the field, the Yankees will have already played a couple of times. They play tonight, and they play an afternoon game on Friday. What do you make of Yankees-Giants opening night? Interleague to start. I think it's on Netflix in the States. Like, what do you make of this matchup?
Yeah. I mean, it's cool it's on Netflix, and they've been promoting the heck out of it. But Max Fried against Logan Webb, Rafael Devers against the Yankees, and Aaron Judge. The Yankees know Devers well. You got Tony Vitello, a storyline. You got the college head coach from Tennessee, who, the college season was 55, 56 games. I mean, he's never managed a 162-game season. And I said, well, how are you going to make? He goes, I honestly don't know. Like, I've never done it before. And I'm like, well, you better figure it out quickly. And so I'm intrigued by it. I don't think the Giants are a great team. I think Logan Webb's a great pitcher. But it's a nice way to start. I like the standalone game. I don't mind it at all. And I like events, right? I want a big event that all eyes are on it. And I think putting Aaron Judge in that you can't go wrong with it.
Absolutely. Opening night. It's going to be a fun one. Enjoy it, Steve. We'll do it again soon.
Okay, guys. Thanks for having me.
Steve Phillips, our TSN Baseball Insider. Again, you can find the face of the franchise on TSN, on YouTube, on tsn.ca. And everyone's got a different opinion, but it speaks to a great history, 50 years and a couple of World Series. They've been at 3 World Series. Obviously, they lost last year. Been in the ALCS a few times.
I think some old schoolers would have some differing opinions on the list because it seems like it's favoring younger generation. Yes. There seems like there's some old school guys like stinky old Pat Henkin. He was a legend. Yeah.
Well, I said, growing up as a Toronto kid of the early '80s, if you were pitching, you were Dave Stieb, and if you were batting, you were George Bell.
Sorry, I meant stinky old Tom Hankey.
Tom Hankey, okay. Tom Hankey, now, Dave Hankin, or Pat Hankin's a really good pitcher. David Cohn, really good pitcher. Tom Hankey's a great example, though, of a guy that if this list went to 15, or you could put in 20 members of the organization's
history. Tom Hankey was the Jays' Mariano Rivera,
Yes,
man.
he was, with the shades and Dwayne Ward.
Dude, that guy was a monster, too. He had,
good.
size 18 wheels.
Yeah.
He was 6'5", and he had a look to him,
He was awesome, man. They had Jimmy Key back in the day. Jimmy Key's another guy that everyone loved. And
some legends rolled through, but it's tough. Again, that's subject to opinion. You say you go generation to generation. You do these lists for anything.
Oh, yeah.
Any team, people are like, well, in my day, it was that guy.
Like, how close would Bo Bichette be to this list? Like, if he signed a monster 10-year deal, I'll bet she's on it.
Yeah, but an old schooler would say, how can Bo Bichette be ahead of Kelly Gruber?
Right. I hear you, but Gruber was further down the list. It's been Vladdy and Bo's team for the last 6 years.
You think honestly Bo Bichette would be ahead of a guy like Kelly Gruber, man?
Yes,
really?
That's Gruber recency bias.
No, it's not, because those two, who? I'll throw one more name out there. John Olerud, I thought really closely on putting in there, but the reason I bring up Olerud is Gruber was really good. And he was a fan favorite with the mullet, and he played third.
Good-looking guy.
Yeah, but those teams, it was Alomar, it was Carter, it was obviously Olerud. When Molitor came in, when Winfield came in, Ricky Henderson in '93. Gruber was further down the list. This team for the last 6 years, it's been the Vladdy and Bo show. Bichette has been top of the lineup guy. George Springer could be on this list. I never even thought about putting George in there. George has been here. He's going into his 6th year as a Blue Jay. Last year, he was the team MVP when they went to the World Series, and he's hit arguably the 2nd or 3rd most famous and most important home run in Blue Jay history.
Yeah.
The Game 7 hit against Seattle in the ALCS. And yet George is not a name that I think came up very much. So anyway, exactly. I mean, I guess we're proving the point that there's so many different options, and it is ultimately subjective. And make the call and vote. Okay, we've got Bruce coming up in about 15 minutes. Jerry's percentages, best bet still to come as well. OverDrive continues up on YouTube Live.
Now, back to OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog.
I got to tell you guys, the good guy circuit came through for me big in Tampa. I'll make this very quick. I threw the vibe out there. I'd like to play Old Memorial if anybody knows a member. I got a message from a guy who said the assistant pro's aware of it, and there's this guy, Billy Heiser, that might reach out to you. He's an awesome guy. He teaches tennis professionals. This guy's a heavy hitter, big shooter. Billy, out of the blue, texts me. He says, "Oh, dog, I'm a member at Old Memorial. You and your buddy want to come play. Love to host you." I'm like, "Are you serious?"
Wow.
And anybody that knows Tampa golf, Old Memorial is like the National in Toronto. It's the King Daddy Topper.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to thank Darren Pang as well, because I found out Billy is a Hawks fan. So Darren Pang helped me out. I brought Billy a jersey at the golf course. It was a Bedard signed jersey. There's me and Billy at Old Memorial in Tampa Bay. What a day we had.
Shout out to Billy. Look at you with no hat on. Just glowing.
Why are you and Duffy all over me about no hat and my suntan?
Well, look at you.
It's I don't know. There's something about it. It looks like you're in the clubhouse, like crushing beers after the round.
Jarring. It's very. I told you.
I never. Obviously, I didn't wear one at any second golfing.
Yeah, that is pretty wild.
Very.
Okay, but anyway,
jarring.
shout out. There you go, Old Memorial.
Good Guy Factory, man, all the way around the horn.
Yeah, that's your spot, man, down in Tampa.
Coming up at 5 o'clock, I'm warning you guys. I'm going to play a great clip from Mark Scheifele after last night's game.
Yes, Gordie Howe hat trick, man. What a
great
night.
clip.
What a night. Okay, so we'll play that. Bruce coming up, Jerry coming up. Hour 2 up next. OverDrive continues up on TSN 4.
This is OverDrive with Hayes, Noodles, and the O-Dog on TSN 1050.
Guys, I need your help determining something. Whether something's artificial intelligence or not. We talked about doctoring picks. And Hazy B, I know you got a pick at the Raptors game that you probably use for all of your screen picks, for all of your social. One came into me, and I don't know if it's actually me, but if it is, I'm going to run with it. And you guys got to tell me if you think somebody doctored this thing up, because it's dynamite. It's got soap opera type quality. Like, look at that. Dude, is that real?
Dude, that's not real. I mean, that's
orange.
Look at how orange you look in that picture. Like, it's close.
Joe, take it off that stupid thing and just show the picture. That looks terrible. I want just.
It's been 3 days. Once you get 3 days in, like, you're back up here. There's no sun. Like, the sun doesn't exist in our country right now. It's a good shot. I will say that. It's a good pick, but it seems a little bit.
The jawline
doctored.
looks good.
Yeah, it looks very good.
I'm going to run with it, man.
Okay.
Now, are those your jibs though? Like if you had well,
I've
listen,
got $30,000 worth of teeth, man. I got
know,
good
but
jibs.
they fall out every 6 months.
Nah, they're all good.
That's your
I'm
new
locked
pick.
in.
That's your new profile.
That
pick.
is a good pick.
a great
you just
profile
got to mess
pick.
with the coloring of it because it looks like
No
it
way,
looks like
dude.
it's on a
that
TV of mine that is
that's
out.
rock solid, and that is going forward.
That's me at the Raptors game.
That
courtside.
is. What's the? You look like Will Arnett there.
A little bit like Will Arnett.
I was kind of not thinking that.
A little bit.
No.
A little bit like
Arnett.
Will.
I was
that
thinking
would
the Bradley guy, Bradley Cooper, maybe.
Let's not
Rick
get
Cooper, his
like
brother.
crazy here. Yeah, exactly.
His brother Rick Cooper.
Yeah, his degenerate buddy Rick. Anyway, so we got Bruce coming up here. We've got some Scheifele audio. I guess you want to play.
Yeah.
I could not believe when I heard after the game he had his third Gordie Howe hat trick last night.
Amazing.
That is like shocking to me because he scores an empty netter, which is great. Like to get the Gordie Howe hat trick, and they beat Vegas. Man, Vegas is in big trouble.
Dude.
Like they are brutal right now. Vegas
they're
is
not
a
playing
mess. But 3 Gordie Howe hat tricks, I got to think that's close to the lead in terms of like current players Tom Wilson's probably up there.
Yeah.
Doogie, get on that. Get us the Gordie Howe hat trick leaders.
Of modern players.
Do you think, I mean, Brady Tkachuk and Carter Yakimchuk had a goal and assist last night, and I wanted to make, I think I made a joke on air saying if Yakimchuk wants to really, can you imagine if he suckered somebody, got in a fight last night, a Gordie Howe hat trick in his debut?
Tough score for that.
No,
but take it. Let's throw out our guesses before Doogie looks this up. I'm going to say Tom Wilson is the leader in Gordie Howe hat tricks.
I would say him, and I mean, would Brady Tkachuk,
is
those
that your guess? My guess is Tom Wilson.
I got a sneaky one for you. Evander Kane. I'll bet you Evander Kane's got 4 or 5. I wouldn't be shocked.
No, I don't think that many. I think we're talking.
Well, Shifley's got 3 though. So do you?
But
I bet you Evander Kane might have 7.
No. I
Dude,
don't
a
think
goal
that
and
many.
assist. The guy's put up a lot of points and he fights a lot. I think Evander Kane might have 7.
No, I think the leader in the clubhouse probably has 3 or 4 right now. Current players. The fighting's down, guys.
I know, but
and
still.
Especially keep in mind on a night where there's a fight, you have to have a goal and an assist.
I get it.
Usually you're down in the game. That's why I said Brady Tkachuk, because Brady Tkachuk, there was a while there where it didn't matter what was going on, he was fighting. Now, again, did he have a goal and assist that night?
Shifley's got 3 though, Noodles. Like if you think he's the pace guard, you think
he might be. I think there's somebody with 4. Like I don't think there's somebody with 7 or 8. Right now.
It's possible.
I could be wrong.
So anyway, Shifley last night, Kyle Connor got hit, and Shifley didn't like it, and he fought and stuck up for his teammate and had some great comments after the game.
Just the thing to do. That's my boy. Just the game of hockey. That's my guy. I didn't like the hit, so it happens.
Why is it so important to show each other that, though?
You just kind of the way, you get taught when you come into the league. That's kind of the way you take care of each other. It's a brotherhood in here, and especially KC. Like I said, that's my boy. I don't like when he gets hit. It's plain and simple.
All right.
Very nice comments. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Genuine too. He's not, that wasn't.
He's not BSing. He's not trying to be a hero. He's not trying to show up the Maple Leafs. That's just honest, and that's the standard requirement in the NHL.
Well, I want to play Craig Berube's audio in just a moment because Easton Cowan, went after Zadorov last night after he hit Tavares. We'll play that, but I think I have found the active leaders. Now, it's a little bit outdated, but I can't imagine it's changed.
And who is keeping this, by the way?
Well,
is this actually kept?
No, it's like the hockeywriters.com. I did a little Google search. This will not surprise you at all. If this is accurate, I'm assuming it's accurate. There is a current player with 5 Gordie Howe hat tricks.
Tom Wilson.
Let me quickly point out, Evander Kane has 4.
Oh, okay.
So Kane has 4.
Yeah.
Marcus Foligno and Corey Perry both have 3. And now, obviously, Shifley has 3. This name will not surprise you.
We're just missing him. That's
Jamie Benn. Jamie Benn has 5.
Of course.
Yeah, Jamie Benn has 5.
Maybe the best-looking player that's ever played in the league. Ever.
Man, he's never worn a helmet in warm-up.
The guy's got this jet black hair. He's a stud.
Wow, his line mate was no slouch
Him
either.
and Sagan just cruising
Those
around
guys
Dallas.
in Dallas, like they're
Watch yourself.
Handsome, great players, and you're right. Jamie Benn, I remember, I think it might have been his rookie year. He fought Iginla. And it was an unreal fight.
He's tough, man.
And I remember, I think he surprised Jerome because Jerome was fighting a lot of people, and I think Ben cut him or got a chunk of him, and it was a great fight.
Well, I've got the list of the all-time Gordie Howe hat tricks. So a goal and an assist and a fight in the same game.
Shanahan's got to be up top.
Rick Tocchet's number 1. Rick Tocchet's at 18. Shanahan's number 2 at 17. Brian Sutter's got 17 Brian Sutter at 17.
He had 25 at his house.
Right, exactly. Probably fought his brother 3 times.
Exactly.
Wilf Paymont at 16 total.
Oh,
love
Wolfie?
that. Yes. Jerome had 11.
Yeah.
Keith Tkachuk had 10. Now this is. Tell me if I'm wrong in saying
JR up there?
No, JR's not on this list. Do you know who had 9 in his career? And I don't know why I just don't.
Gary Roberts?
This feels shocking to me. Paul Coffey. had 9.
Well, they had to fight
Koff
back
had
then.
9 Gordie
Paul
Howe hat
Coffey, according to this website, had 9 Gordie Howe hat tricks. Paul Coffey.
Wow.
Like, I remember
seeing
him
Paul
fighting
Coffey fight Dougie Gilmore in Maple Leaf Gardens in the corner. They were both getting pissy with each other, and they dropped the gloves and fought.
So good.
Wow.
So good.
That's
Paul
crazy.
Coffey had 9. Gerard
You know
Gallant
what?
had 10.
You know what other one I thought we would have? Brad Marchand.
Doesn't fight a ton, though, Noodles.
Yeah.
But he's a
Well,
you know,
did you think
greasy,
Brad
like-
Marchand fought any more than Koff?
No, or Mark Scheifele, for that matter.
Yeah.
So you're right. I guess, yeah, you're right, Noodles. Based on his reputation, you're absolutely
Here's
right.
a crazy one, too. Like, there was a time Milan Lucic was scoring 20 to 30.
He had 4 in his career.
Okay, because Luch
Yeah, he
was
had 4.
an animal, right?
Marcus Foligno, the Foligno brothers, I'll bet you both are on that list. I'll bet you Mike Foligno had.
Yeah, I was going to say the dad.
What
might
was
be
the
in there.
number my boy Tommy Wilson was at? Like,
I don't see him on this list.
He's
man.
not even anywhere
I think
near
he's
the
had
list.
2. Doogie said he's got 2. He's got 2 in his career.
We
Dude,
need an
I figured
official
Tom
list,
Wilson
so.
would have a zillion Gordie Howe hat tricks. Playing with Ovi, sniping goals, assist, and then just beating someone up in the third period. I thought he would be right up there with Shanahan,
fight a
man.
ton. Doesn't fight a ton anymore.
Yeah, that's why I thought Gary Roberts would be up there.
Gary's got to have. I'd say he's got 5 or 6 in his career.
I was flying out yesterday, and Frankie Corrado and I ran into each other at the airport. Apparently, Frankie comes in to see me at the lounge, and he goes, "Did you just big time Gary Roberts?" And I go, "No, I didn't."
Oh no!
But I had to stop and chat with a fan from the Senators that was on the same flight, going, "Hey, are you doing the game?" And that apparently Robs was right there with his son. I didn't see him. And Rob said to Frankie, he's like, "Oh, I was going to say hi to Noodles, but he big time me."
Oh,
Do you think I would ever big time Gary Roberts? I
Rob
didn't even
Ray
see him.
and Gary Roberts.
No,
are
so
gonna
then
kill
I went looking for him. Robs was flying somewhere south to a nice spot. So I texted him and just said, "Hey, sorry I missed you," type of thing. I wasn't going to walk there. His gate was like gate 74, and I was at gate 11. I'm like, I'm not walking down there to say
because then
sorry.
it gets awkward. He's like, "Why are you down here?"
Yeah.
Like you just came to see me. That's a bit much.
Yeah, it is a bit much.
I want to know how many he's got because this is a great list. Like the Gordie Howe hat trick is such an incredible stat.
But didn't Gordie Howe only have like 4 in his
I don't
career?
know if he ever had one, Noodles. I'm not sure. I think the crazy thing about Gordie Howe is I don't even know if he ever had one in his career.
I thought I was told he only had like 3 or 4 where people thought he had like 100. You would expect Gordie Howe with a goal and assist in a fight every night.
Right.
But somebody told me, again, there should be an official list. There's so many stats. The Quizmaster should do this.
He could find them. Okay, so JP said he had them twice. Bobby Orr had 8 Gordie Howe hat tricks. Bobby Orr.
Pat Quinn with one of them.
Pat Quinn 100% was in on
what
2
about
or 3
Killer?
of those.
Did Dougie Gilmore have any? He must have had 3 or 4.
I would think. Wendell, how many do you think Wendell had?
10.
7. He had 7. Wendell had 7. Lanny McDonald had 6.
But
crazy, man.
Those guys used to fight like all the time. Keep in mind, fights were just prevalent.
That's the way it went.
Yeah.
There were just fights all the time. It's such a
crazy.
different world now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, Easton Cowan, his response to the Tavares Zadorov hit last night, I appreciate it. Like we said it about Morgan Riley jumping the McLean kid in the island last week.
Yeah.
It's better than nothing. Does it feel natural? Maybe not.
You know what it feels like to me, Brian? It feels like a dad chat. Like when the stuff happened with Austin Matthews, I think Easton Cowan's like a country boy from London.
Yes.
I don't know if he's
he
actually
is.
a farmer or something.
No, I believe he is. Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if his old man pulled him aside and said, if I ever have to watch you and you don't do anything to support your teammates if something like that happens, I just won't. I can't take it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? It was almost like not a coach. It was like a dad convo where it's like, you better stand up for your teammates. And he just said, I'm not going to be the guy ever that's questioned for not doing anything about my team.
Well, and he was on the ice, I believe, when Gudas hit Matthews.
He was.
He sure was.
So
he skated by
Riley was on it. He's responded. Cowan. Is Willie ever going to respond the same way? Probably not.
Zero, never.
Yeah, and would I have loved to have seen Tavares go over there and just take a 6-game suspension and slash somebody? It would have been great, but never, ever going to happen.
The way they look at it is they want to get a power play goal. They think that's revenge.
Not the way it works with them. Yeah. Here's Bruce Boudreau, our TSN hockey analyst. Bruce, how do you respond to kind of the Leafs' response over the last couple of weeks after the Goudas hit on Matthews and some of the dust-ups that they've been involved in? Do you place value in it? Does it feel natural and genuine? Where do you stand on this?
Well, I absolutely feel that somebody should have jumped in. And I tell you, if somebody does jump in, no matter what happens, the players not only appreciate it, everybody on the bench, but I mean, they almost embrace you even more, especially if you're a young guy. They will take you in, and they will love that stuff. But I think the three guys you just mentioned, I don't know if they've ever been in a dust-up, or I mean, at least Cowan and Nylander before. So I mean, I think they were like deer in the headlights. They didn't know what to do at that stage. So it's, but I think they would have learned a lesson by watching, I mean, the Matthews hit. So, I mean, I would have liked to see Cowan jump in a little bit, even if you jump on that big guy's back and say, ride him, cowboy. Like, I mean, anything would have made it look a little bit better than it did.
So, Bruce, what would you like to see for the Leafs in the last, 10, 12 games here, as far as playing out the string, we'll call it?
Well, I'd certainly like to see the effort that they put in last night. I mean, I thought that was a really good effort, especially the effort that Nyes did when he scored the shorthanded goal. If you can get that effort for every game, even if you're not in it, it gives you some positivity going into the summer, I think. So, I mean, but you're going to need that kind of effort, or you're going to, if I'm the coach or if I'm the management, I'm going, Jesus, is this the kind of guy we really want, that when the chips are down that they don't give their best effort? That's not what you want to see, I don't think.
Brucey, when you look at the roster and you look what they've done this year, do you think it's possible that they can pull a Boston and kind of change things up and retool in the offseason and be competitive? I think it's outrageous to even bring up being a contender next year. But how many transactions away do you think they are from being a competitive hockey team next year? I know my answer. I'd like to hear yours.
Well, I would think, thinking about it, I think they need at least 6 new faces in there. Wow. And the right kind of faces. And, you know what I mean? There's some talent. When you talk about if Nyes has a better year, Matthews, Nylander, even Easton Cowan, who I think is going to be a really good player. But you've got to get to be complete. You've got to have those guys that are willing to go into not only into the corners but into the rough games and play that kind of style. I mean, I'm not talking about going out and get Ryan Reeves, but I mean the guys that'll not only stand up for your teammates, but it'll be hard to play against all over the ice. I think that's what they were going for this year a little bit, but I think they missed out on that really badly.
Do you think it's possible to make 6 bodies disappear, Brucey, the way the league is structured now?
Well, I don't know. I mean, if 31 other GMs are not watching any of the Leaf games, maybe. But if they're watching the Leaf games, I think it would be a pretty hard sell. You'd have to lose the trade. You'd have to lose the trade all the time. But I mean, if you're willing to almost retool, sometimes you have to lose the trade so you can have enough resources to make better picks in the future. And I mean, there's some guys in there that I think that are too old in the tooth, or just not the fits that you would want if you want a successful team.
With Bruce Boudreau, our TSN Hockey Insider. So Boston loses last night. That puts them again in a bit of a bind moving forward, because we're doing the playoff shuffle daily on this show. Tampa's in, Buffalo's in, Carolina's in. Everything else is up for grabs. But Montreal, based on points, would be in the 4 spot with 88 points. That was a big win last night. Like they were down, I think 2-0, and Carolina was steamrolling them in the first period last night, and they played great the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on Montreal, Bruce, in terms of not just being a playoff team, but if and when they get there, and I expect they will, how much noise do you believe they can make?
Well, I mean, somehow when you play in that building in the playoffs, and I mean, I think Montreal's going to get 100 points. I mean, they only have to win 6 more games out of their last 11, I think they have. And they'll have 100 points. I think they can easily get to the second round. And then the second round in the Atlantic Division, I mean, they'll be playing probably Tampa. And if they end up in second, which is or third, and I think they'll be in the top 3. I think then it won't be an easy series for Tampa, but I think they could push them to 6 or 7 games. I think that's where they're going to end up. I mean, I called Tampa to be to win the cup before the season started, and I think that they've gone through their down time, and they're starting to play an awful lot better like they were when they were 19-1-1 at a certain part of the year. So I think whoever meets Tampa in the second round is going to be a really tough out for them.
Yeah, and that's reasonable. Yeah. They've got the winning pedigree. They've got the goalie. Hedman, it was just announced, has taken a personal leave from the team, but you presume he'll be back come playoff time. But it's interesting with the East. Like Carolina, they're consistently good every year. They win a round or two. They don't have any cup final pedigree with this current team. So it's just, it's kind of the year of the Cinderella. We were talking about this earlier with Buffalo and Ottawa now in the playoffs and Columbus. Like, how would you handicap the chances one of those 3 teams, Buffalo, Columbus, Ottawa, who 2-3 months ago no one saw making the playoffs just based on where they were with the standings? Now they're not only in, they're all making serious noise. Do you think any of those 3 teams could end up in a cup final?
Well, I think they could if you look at all 3 of them. I mean, their record in the last, since Rick Bowness came there and since if you look since December 9th for Buffalo, these records are the tops in the league. They're right up there with Colorado, Dallas, and Minnesota. I mean, on all 3 of those teams. So, I mean, yeah, they could make it. I mean, but here's the thing I think with them is they're playing, all 3 are playing as good as they can. When it comes to playoffs, you have to pick your game up at least 10%, as we know. You can't play the same as you do in the regular season or at that level in the regular season and hope to have success. My question is, can these teams play any better than they're playing right now? Because they're going to have to be when they hit the playoffs. That's why I said I think Tampa's just hitting their stride because they can play better. I don't know if Carolina in the last few years have been able to play any better than they've been able to than they were. So I thought, in the conference final, was their limit. And I don't know if Buffalo can. I don't know if Columbus can. Who's the other team we mentioned?
Ottawa. Ottawa, Buffalo, Columbus.
Yeah, I don't know if any of those 3 teams can play better than they're playing right now. But to get into the Stanley Cup final, they're going to have to. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if there's a 1993 out there again, this is the year. Who knows who's going to end up in the final? If somebody just slips, if Tampa slips, then everything's up for grabs. If Carolina slips in the Metro, anything's up for grabs. I think the East is wide open. I got to believe the West. It's going to be in the conference final. Obviously, it's going to be Dallas or Colorado. But in the Stanley Cup final, I think it's going to be one of those 2 teams as well.
Yeah. Well, we're getting close. We're inside 10, 12 games for all these teams throughout the league. So we'll have those answers relatively soon. All right, Bruce. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I have to say this one thing. I remember the first time I was on this year, the question was how many Canadian teams are going to make it? And I got laughed at with 6, and I should be laughed at again because there's no chance there's 6 Canadian teams that are going to make it. So hopefully there's 3. But we'll never know.
Could be 3 as of right now. There's 3. Winnipeg's red hot. I don't think they're going to make it, but maybe they push up against it, and it makes it look a little bit more respectable. Thanks, Bruce.
All right, you guys have a great day.
Bruce Boudreau joining us here on the Maple Toyota Hotline. Red Tag Days are here with the all-electric Toyota BZ. Goes from 0 to 100 in just 5.1 seconds and charges from 10 to 80% in just 30 minutes. Dropped by Maple Toyota today. Yeah.
I thought somebody was going to ask him if he had a Gordie Howe hat trick.
I didn't even think to do that.
He might have had one. He might have had one.
He might have.
Because he scored. He was a really skilled player. Like, I guarantee you he had one in the minors.
Yeah. Gloves coming off in the American League for sure.
Maybe we got to get Killer on our buddy tomorrow and talk about Gordie Howe hat tricks, who was the king daddy topper back in the day. That era, some different fighters.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we might have to. We got Jerry coming up this hour. We got Best Bets coming up later this hour. OverDrive continues up on YouTube Live.
You're going to want to hear this.
Jerry's percentages.
I don't love being commissioner as much as I used to. I actually love it even more.
That's the voice of a Hall of Famer.
Are you kidding? Have you been out drinking?
You're all pigeons. Filthy, filthy pigeons.
It's Jerry. Gerry.
All right, Jerry's percentages. It's been a while. We haven't heard from Jerry in a long time. I'm sure he's a very busy guy like he always is, and I'm sure he's getting ready for the Stanley Cup playoffs. So without further ado, you guys ready to
fire him
hear
up
from Jerry?
Yep. Jerry's got that wannabe Adam Silver on hold on the other line, so I've got to be quick. But not too quick, and you know exactly what I mean.
Okay, Adam Silver's on hold. Probably about exploring going to Vegas and Seattle, right? They're mowing Jerry's lawn in the NBA.
Yeah.
Dude, I always ask this question. Like, Seattle didn't work. Why is it going to work now? It's the same as, like, what went wrong that's all of a sudden fixed? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean,
like, is it the Renault building in Seattle? Like, is that going to solve their problems? There's a major reason the team left, just like the Atlanta Thrashers. They're talking about going back to Atlanta, which I think is absolutely insane.
Well, Atlanta for hockey, ridiculous. But my thing is, why did they leave in the first place? Because I'll give you an example. Minnesota should have never lost the North Stars. Like, that's a hockey state. You know, I look at it like, why would they leave in the first place?
And then they got their team back, and they're still here. Yeah, true. And I guess that's actually an analogy they're hoping for. Is that you can go back to Seattle. It's a big market. There's a fair amount of massive money there.
Lots of money there. But I guess that was, why did they leave in the first place?
I don't remember.
That would be my question.
And why did you go to Oklahoma City? That's what makes even less sense. You know, like if you're leaving Seattle and you're saying we're going to New York, or L.A. or something. Okay.
Exactly.
Oklahoma City, like it's the smallest market I believe in the NBA, maybe in pro sports period. It's, kind of like Winnipeg or whatever. So anyway, it's happening. The NBA is expanding. They're going to 32 teams. Vegas and Seattle, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of how much money they get and who's going to be the owner in the end. All right. Anyway, yes, doesn't want to be too quick. Adam Silver on hold. So let's go. What do you have for us?
One of the Maple Leafs or the Jets make it back to the Stanley Cup playoffs next season.
Good one, Jerry.
I'm going to go 60%. There's the makings of something happening for both of them. Although I think the likelihood, Brucey just said, which is quite the statement, 6 new faces.
Well,
6 new faces.
But
I can get to that. Yeah, exactly.
Hellebuck, Scheifele, and just there's enough good players within the 2 teams. One of them will get back to the playoffs. 60%.
I'm in there too as well. I think you look at Winnipeg. They had the injury. Adam Lowry was out for the first couple of months. You have Hellebuck. You had the Leafs with a bunch of injuries. Like, it was a weird year, Olympic year. Everything's jammed together. Their goaltending wasn't consistent. They barely had their tandem the whole season long. Like, that would be an interesting case study. How many times were both goaltenders available to the Leafs? like legitimate and playing well, or just playing. Like,
no, you're right.
It's Stolarz here or it's Wool, and like I think there was just a weird year for both organizations, and I could see them. I'm 68%. Oh, that's where I'm at. 68. That one of them gets back. I can believe that.
I know what this guy's going to say, Jamie.
He's lower. He's under 50.
He's 25. He's 25.
No,
he's
not
30.
I'm probably in the minority. I mean, because again, look at the divisions. Colorado, Minnesota, Dallas. Are they going to fall off next year? I don't know. Nashville, obviously playing. I get every season's different. I understand it. These two teams are a perfect example. They both won their respective divisions a year ago. We're not talking about 3 or 4 years ago. And it has been a really strange snowball season. Both teams got off to horrible starts, and they never recovered.
Yeah.
But, those teams in the Central, the teams in the Atlantic are really good teams.
Yeah, the division argument is actually a pretty good one.
It's
because
tough.
Even if they have good seasons next year, there's no guarantee that they're going to supplant some of those teams that have now taken a step.
Right.
Vis-a-vis the Buffaloes, the Ottawas.
The Utahs, the Nashvilles this year.
Yeah.
Like, the Central is really good, man. It's a really loaded division. So, 40%? Like, that's not zero. No, it's not zero. I'm not going zero. I do think it's possible for both teams, including the Leafs. I get how awful it's been, how terrible they've looked. You can move off 6 guys. Now, who you replace them with is the bigger question. Right? Like, there's certain guys that are going to just – Yarncroc can go. Lorentz, you can get – you can waive. You can move off of. Benoit, you could say thanks for everything. Like, there's guys like that you can move off of, or bury in the minors, and they're no longer a part of your team, and that counts.
Right.
How you move off Riley if you want to, difficult. What do you do with Max Domi? I don't know. He's got term and some money on his deal. What's his value around the league? I'm not sure. And then furthermore, again, who do you go out and get? Who do you sign? Who do you trade for? It's not easy. It's not easy. But turning over 30% of the roster, I do think is doable.
And even if you think you've done a fantastic job of retooling with those 6 faces or whatever the number is, Hayes, it still might not work.
It still may not be enough. You'll be better, but it may be
There's a
88
chance.
points.
There's no guarantees of anything.
Guarantees. No guarantees. Like Ottawa, Buffalo, Montreal, Detroit, Tampa, Florida's going to be better next year, you would presume. Tough.
Yeah, they'll be healthier. Like, it
tough,
is,
man.
but it's what you do within your respective organization to make them better. If there's a reset, if you decide, keep in mind, there's going to be change here. And now whether that's they bring in a president, whether they move away from the manager or the coach, if some of the players are saying, I need to get out, give you a Morgan Riley situation, where, you're going to have lots of moving parts here. So it'd be tough to judge right now because, give me 2 months when the dust is settled from, the fallout of this season.
Well, we'll circle back maybe with Jerry in a couple of months. What else do you have for us?
Cole Caulfield scores 50-plus and wins the Rocket Richard.
Oh.
Man,
I'm kind of high on Mr. Saturday Night,
right?
man.
Dude,
44, right?
he is dancing in Montreal, man. He's at 44. McKinnon scored last night. He's up to 46.
I'm going to give him 60% because I think he's just on a heater and he might get it done, and I'd love to see it happen. I've told you numerous times when I saw him in Russia at the World Juniors, I just said there's just no chance this guy could play. His jersey looked like it was probably a boy's small jersey, and it was draped like he was so small. I'm like, this guy's a first-round pick, and he's awesome. So I'm going a 65% for Cole Caulfield.
I'm a little, I'd like to see him just hit 50. I'm sorry, I just want to see him hit 50. And I don't care if he wins the Rocket or not, but I think he can do it. I think
he's matter if 50. You care or not. Does he do
think
it
he
or not?
will or not? That's the question.
No, I know, but I'm just saying. Keep in mind, this guy had 26 and 28. He had 28 in 82 games. Then last year, 37. I remember saying on this show a couple years ago, I think he can score 40, and I was
Noodles
berated.
The question
by
is,
some people.
can he win the Rocket with 50
not by
goals?
You guys.
Could have been us.
No, but I think he can, and I'm still leaning McKinnon slightly.
Okay.
So I'm going to say 48%.
Okay, that's reasonable. I mean, McKinnon is more than capable of obviously scoring a lot of goals down the stretch.
McDavid scored, his 40th last night, too.
Well, and he's got 400 on his career. It was a cool goal. Like, Pamelka was kind of out to lunch last night. He got
lifted. The Oilers kind of got
They played well. I thought Edmonton played really well last night. Yeah, I watched the whole game. I thought they played really well.
There should be some underpanting in Utah if they don't get in.
They're going to get in. I think they're going to get in, but they're probably, if Nashville keeps rolling here, they're going to play Colorado, and that's going to be trouble. But that's why I'm going to go higher on this. I'm going to go 70%
for Caulfield.
Well, just Colorado's got a 7-point buffer now. Like, does McKinnon kind of does he kind of cruise home? Does he take a night or two off? Does he literally load manage? Caulfield's playing. Like, he's got to play. Montreal's playing. Like, they're going to be playing.
I think it's such a great story for Caulfield. Like, it would be such an amazing story for him.
Like, Demidov scored a beauty last night too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they got a lot of
some mitts on him, man.
Yeah,
every once in a while you're like, damn, that guy's got some hands.
He can dance. Kapanen scored again last night. Like, there's an not underreported in Montreal, clearly, but that's a rookie second-line center who's put up good numbers for them this year.
Isn't that crazy, though? The rookies, none of them are getting, the fanfare. They are in their respective markets.
Schaefer's taken over everything.
It's just Schaefer should be 100%. Mm-hmm. Now there is, I can't remember who, I was working with Cheryl Pounder the other night. You and I were working with her.
Yeah, that's right.
And she said she doesn't believe it'll be unanimous for Schaefer because there'll be one local reporter that votes for their particular rookie.
No, it's impossible.
It will happen. I'm fearful. Dude, I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
You don't think Matthew Schaefer's unanimous and rookie of the year?
He should be. Do I think he should be? But here's what's going to happen. Do we have the O-Dog picture? The post the O-Dog pick. All right.
What are you talking about?
I'm going to explain where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Show that guy he works for the Orange County Express, and he's going to vote for Beckett Seneca.
Yeah,
that
Seneca.
guy only watches Ducks games.
Guy right there, you guys, is a man of integrity.
No, he's not. No. He's a scumbag, and he lives in Anaheim.
That's a man of integrity.
No, he isn't.
Look at the look.
He's a scumbag.
That's Hazy B at the Raptors. He's not a scumbag.
Yes, he is.
No, he
that guy's not voting for Schaefer.
That's Shooter McGavin right
Seneca's
there.
getting his vote.
Hates children and
I
old
thought
people.
there was finally like a respectable pick, and you guys start trashing it.
That guy's voting for Seneca. I guarantee it. Not that he hasn't been great. He's been great, but that guy has not watched a second of any other team in the league.
Yeah,
I think it's Mariano Rivera, like clean sweep.
It should be. It should
be. But I just think there is somebody from the Orange County Register that is going to go.
No, it isn't that guy. Stop saying that pick is a guy from Orange County.
That guy is, Shooter McGavin.
So from now on, I know what already is going to happen. Whenever there's a scumbag out there, it's just going to be put up the pick.
That guy. Jeff from Orange County.
Yeah. Whenever someone does like they're trying to find someone in the public that did something D-bag, put up the pick that's that guy.
That's the guy. That's the sketch. That's the sketch.
Yeah, something's happened. That's the sketch.
All right, Jerry. What else do we have here?
The Blue Jays win the AL East again this season.
Ooh. Man.
I don't know, man. I don't know if it's a slam dunk. It's
tough
like
to
the
do.
Yankees are going to rear their head. Like Boston always. And by the way, don't be shocked. I have no idea. I have any idea what Tampa's going to be like this year. But would it surprise you if they start popping up on the radar again?
They always are pesky.
Yes.
Like they're going to be pesky. You're well prepared for that. Like FanDuel's got Yankees favorited to win the division. I believe they have Boston at number 2 and the Jays at number 3. It's such a tough division. Everything's got to break your way. 40%, which I actually think is being very optimistic.
I'm giving them 55.
Okay, so you're even more optimistic.
I'm high on them.
Wow.
I think there's a chance. Now, it all has to fit together. But I think I think there's a chance they could be better this year.
Yeah.
Like they just, with the players they've replaced. Now, Bo's a big miss, but not a big miss, a big loss. But I don't know. I just have, for me, I think it's something they can build on from a confidence standpoint.
Yeah.
So
by the way, Hazy B,
go
ahead, Jamie. What's your percentage?
70%. I'm high on this.
That's high.
Maybe it's wishful thinking, but I'm high.
But they're being chased now, right? They're not the chaser anymore.
Exactly. You're getting destroyed online. Kelly Gruber, Silver Slugger, like Gold Glover.
Yeah.
Pat Borders with that cookie duster was a World Series MVP. And you guys did not even discuss him. You guys are getting destroyed.
So staying in 92-93, Devon White is another guy that a lot of people are pointing to.
I love Devo.
No one
Devo
proves center
amazing.
field like that.
Nobody made big plays in center like Devo.
Yeah.
You can't have, Paul Molitor is going to be on the team. You can't have everyone. And as we pointed out, Roberto Alomar is ineligible based on where he is standing within Major League Baseball, so he was not included in this. And for obvious reasons, in terms of his history and what he did as a player, and clearly what he has, been doing post-career. But Alomar, Gruber, Devon White, John Olerud, Tom Hankey, Dwayne Ward, like you could go on and on and on. Juan Guzman, Jimmy Key, those early '90s teams were so loaded, and are so such a big part of our history. People are pointing out Jesse Barfield and Lloyd Mosby, and that's what makes it great. You gotta find 10 guys. That's what it's going to be. You got to
follow Jesse Barfield on Twitter.
I don't, but I've seen him pop up from time to time.
Dude, Jesse Barfield loves on a random Tuesday night, just to post a pic of his bad home run champion ring. He's just on the couch. He's like, "This is my home run championship ring." I love it, man.
So
I love Jesse Barfield.
He was apparently the best guy ever, too.
Yeah. Saturday morning, 8 a.m. This is my trophy case. This is all my. It's just
so
the
good.
best.
So cool. Good. Old school guys on Twitter where it's not them actually running the account.
No, I think it is. I think he moseys around Saturday morning with a coffee, and he's like, "This is my cool stuff, and I'm better than you."
Hey,
and
he
I
earned
love
it. He earned it,
yeah,
man.
He did.
He's a great player. Had a great career.
Yeah.
All right, Jerry, what else do you have?
Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge go back to back to back as NL and AL MVPs.
Wow. I can't imagine that's ever happened before. They've both won the MVP the last 2 years.
Would it shock you?
Well, there are the odds-on favorite to win it again in both respective leagues, but
they're both going to hit 50 bombs and almost be automatic MVPs.
Yeah, it's
it seems like that's what it comes down to, Hayes.
They
both hit 50 bombs, and Ohtani has some outrageous games where he'll have 10 Ks and 3 bombs and do something else ridiculous.
He did it in Game 3 of the World Series.
I know. And then almost people it's almost like they watch that and they're like, well, I guess that guy's the MVP. Yeah. And it's not even a contest.
I know. But I can't believe it's going to happen for both guys. That's what Jerry's saying. It's done. It's Ohtani and Judge for the 3rd straight year. I'm
going to say 58%, and the only thing that stops it is an injury.
So you're telling me Vladdy, Bobby Witt Jr., I'm trying to think
those
of
guys are just super. Those guys just have so much street cred where it's.
I know.
You know the ones where it's even if they don't have their greatest year, they're getting the MVP.
They are getting votes just because of reputation and what they do. I'm 52%. I'm just above 50 on this.
I'm going to go lower just because
you're playing the field.
Well, it's just so difficult to stay consistent. And there's also, there's always the narrative comes into all these votes, right? Is there fatigue? Is there voter fatigue for Ohtani and Judge? Is the bar set too high for them? What if Judge hits 47 home runs this year? He still leads the American League in home runs, puts up massive numbers, chasing a Triple Crown. Do they hold that against him? They probably shouldn't, but might they? If Bobby Witt has a great year, if Vladdy has a year, if Rodriguez has a year. It's just in the American League. In the National League, clearly there's a ton of talent too. We say 20%. 20%, they both win it.
Okay.
I'd be high on at least one of them winning it, but both of them doing it. Ohtani has won the MVP 3 years in a row. 3 years ago was in the American League. So he won it with the Angels, and now the last 2 with the Dodgers. And I think Judge has won 3 of the last 4 in the American League.
He's not going anywhere, though,
no,
Ohtani. If he's had the problem is his health. At some point, they're not going to be 100% healthy.
Yes.
So that could hurt him.
That is the most likely reason for pessimism if you're projecting whether or not they're going to win this major award. All right, one more, Jerry. Do we have one more? Go ahead.
Connor Jesus ends his career with over 2,000 points. Old Hazy B sure looks stupid chirping him earlier this season.
Well, Jerry, I got to be honest. I think it might be one of the all-time great takes because I'm not sure he's going to win the Hart, and he's not going to set career points numbers this year.
I'll tell you what, I think December 15th, I had him as a lock to win the Hart.
And I think it's Kucherov's now, doesn't it? Feel like it's Kucherov's to win?
Feels like Kucherov. I mean, it depends. You got 10 games.
I know.
Usually, it's kind of like that last, whoever makes that last push. What if it's McKinnon that comes out of nowhere?
Definitely
what if, and now McDavid is 2 points behind Kucherov? Like, it's not.
Kucherov had a point last night, only a point, and they put up 6th spot on Mini.
Yeah, I think it's. I don't want to say it's
he's
two-headed. I think McKinnon. Those three are probably fighting it out.
Yes,
and we'll see what happens in the last 10 games.
But only Gretzky's hit 2,000 points. No one else. Yager didn't get there. Like no one else. I think Yager was like 1920 or something like that total points. Do you think McDavid has 800 more points in his career?
Absolutely. I really do. Guy's
it's just health-based, Brian.
Yeah.
It's health-based. That's what it is. Like Yager played for 70 years.
6 more seasons, dude.
Yeah,
the way he's going, I know.
But he McDavid had a quote last night when he was interviewed saying, I think I've got a lot of more years of good hockey left in me. Like, look at what Sid's doing at 38, right? Like, even if there's a drop-off, which Sid hasn't really had a drop-off, he's a point a game. If McDavid, it's just health because, his body's just different, right? Like, he's so fast.
He looks so thin. Like, he looks.
He is, man.
I know, but he looks thinner than I ever remember him looking. Like,
if you look at, Sid, I'm going to see him tomorrow. Like, Sid and Nate McKinnon are built the same way. They're just legs and back and just muscle men, right? McDavid is just lean and powerful. Now McDavid has good sized legs. You'd be surprised, but the upper body's very thin, right? I don't know, man. It's health based for me.
2,000 points, a lot of points, man.
I know, but I'm going to give him 65% on it just based on health, for sure.
Man, I don't want to be a hater again.
Yeah, you're.
Dude, you better not. Don't you even think about doing it.
51%. 51.
I'm going 100 for Jesus.
Wow. 100% McDavid has 800 more points left in the bank. Listen, I hear you. I mean, Sid's up over 1,700, right? Like, Sid could hit 2,000.
Yeah.
If he plays another 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Like, he
could
definitely.
Talking about? He's 38 years old. You think he's going to play 4 or 5?
Sid might play 4 more years. I think Sid could get to 42.
No chance in hell is he going to play until he's 42 years old. Sorry, guys.
Dude, I'm telling you. I just saw a report yesterday saying there's no indication this guy is even close to stopping playing. Because his deal's up after next year. He's not going to retire after next year. No way. He's playing at least a couple more years. He might be chasing 2,000. Like, that might be what he's looking at.
A couple more years isn't 4 or 5, Hayes.
Well, but same thing with LeBron. LeBron's talking about playing in Cleveland next year or Golden State.
Get serious.
Yes, because he's not going back to L.A. He still can play. He's 41. He's still playing. And he's still a serious player.
I think Sid will play till he's 42.
Yeah, so he's chasing 2,000 points.
4 more years.
All right, Jerry, good stuff. Best bets next. All right, Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. I'm on the Leafs in the under tonight. Rangers, man, this is going to be an awful game. Like, it's really got the chance to be a terrible game. But the Leafs, I believe, are better. I liked their effort last night. Carry it over. Leafs in the under tonight. And I'm leaning Giants in the Giants-Yankee game this evening as well. Logan Webb on the mound again. Opening day for the Giants like he is every single year. Max Fried on the mound for the Yankees. There you go. Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Same-game parlays around the sports world available on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Please play responsibly, 18+, physically located in Ontario. Okay, good stuff. Very good stuff. Great stuff. We got the Houston Open start tomorrow. No Scotty Scheffler, though. Shout out to the Scheffler family. And The Masters right around the corner. We get the Raptors in L.A. playing the Clippers tonight. Baseball's back. It's a beautiful thing. Ross Atkins on the show tomorrow. So,
love it.
Yeah, look forward to catching up
I'll
with him.
be asking for stuff. I don't care.
Okay. You do you.
Jeff
Jeff from Orange County.
And you scumbags benefit. Then you're like, oh, it's great stuff.
Scumbag move. Scumbag move. Jeff
you
from
know
Orange
what?
County.
I want to do a poll tomorrow. Whose pick is a bigger scumbag pick? You at the Raps or me at my desk?
Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Done. We'll back-to-back it tomorrow. Good stuff. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes for hopping out. We appreciate it. Everyone for tuning in today. TV, radio, podcast, web, and up on YouTube Live. Every show up on YouTube, courtesy of the TSN YouTube channel. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy the games tonight. We're back tomorrow at
Big Ern McCracken. Where have you been? 4 p.m.
We'll chat then.